Hey, que la que hay, mi amigo. Rocky here from SpeakSpanishFaster.com, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about 15 Spanish words that do not exist in English. So these Spanish words do not have an English counterpart. There's no English word that translates to this Spanish word or that can translate this Spanish word. Now, of course, you could use a few English words to explain the word, but each Spanish word that I give you, there's no one English word that is the equivalent to that Spanish word. I hope that makes sense. But pay attention to some of these words because you might actually have to use one of these words in the future, and you might actually hear some of these words in the future. So you definitely want to make sure that you know what they mean. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. So the first word that we are going to cover is the word estadounidense. Estadounidense. So what does that word mean? Well, that word pretty much means somebody from the United States of America. So if you're a estadounidense, then you are somebody from the United States of America. You are a United States of American. Like, we don't have a word that represents, again, that word in Spanish, but it's the equivalent of, like, the word Mexicano represents Mexican, represents somebody from Mexico, Colombiano, Colombian. That estadounidense is the same type of word, but it represents somebody from the United States of America. Now, of course, we have the word Americano, but that literally translates to American. It doesn't translate to United States of, somebody from the United States. All right. So that's the first word, estadounidense. So the next word or phrase that we're going to cover is te quiero. So te quiero directly translated means I want you, but in Spanish we use it a little differently, and the way that we use it just simply doesn't exist in English. In English we have I like you or I love you. There's really no word that represents I really, really like you, but I don't love you. So when I say love, like two lovebirds would say, they wouldn't say te quiero, they say te amo, mi amor. Tú eres el amor de mi vida, yo te amo, mami. That is the word amor, and that is love in that sense. You wouldn't want to use te quiero for that. Now, looking on the other end of the spectrum, like if I'm talking to my dad or if I'm talking to my cousins or something, I say te quiero. I don't say te amo. I say te quiero, as in I love you, but it's not I am in love with you. All right, so that's pretty much the difference. Te quiero is kind of like I really, really, really like you and I love you, but I'm not in love with you. Like, you're not the love of my life. That word that you would use for that is te amo, or the phrase that you would use for that. But don't mix these up because this can get very, very confusing, and it can put you in an awkward position if you're hanging out with a friend and it's strictly just a friend and you guys say bye to each other and you say te amo and they're like, what? ¿Tú me amas? Oh, no, te quiero. So make sure you don't make that mistake. Now, the next word we're going to cover represents something that we all do when we're kids or when we're in college, and that is pull an all-nighter. Now, there is no one word in English that represents this. We pull an all-nighter, or we stay up all night hanging out with friends, or whatever it is that we're doing all night, studying for tests and stuff. The word for that in Spanish is trasnochar. So in Spanish, luckily, we have a word that represents that. So if your friend asks, hey, what are you doing tonight? And you tell them, like, instead of saying, I'm going to be up all night studying for a test, you say, voy a trasnochar para estudiar. So pretty much, I'm going to be pulling an all-nighter so that I can study. All right, so that's the word trasnochar, and that represents pulling an all-nighter. Now, next word is madrugada. This is pretty much the opposite of the last word. This is waking up super early, pretty much before the sun comes up. So one way you can use this is you can say tengo que madrugar para coger el bus. So I have to get up early, or I wake up really early to catch the bus. Now, the next word, or two words, but both of these words mean the same thing. We have Antiair or Antiair. Now, this pretty much means what it sounds like. Ante de ayer is what Antiair means, or Antier means. Ante de ayer, antes de ayer, so before yesterday. So Antiair or Anteayer means the day before yesterday. Now in English we have to say the day before yesterday. In Spanish you don't have to say, el día antes de ayer, you just say Antier. Pretty easy, right? Now the next word is merendar. This word means going on an afternoon snack. Now this isn't really common in the United States, I would say, so that's why it probably doesn't exist, at least in American English, a word for going to go snack. Because in America, we don't really do that. Like we go out to eat or we go out for drinks or to the club. But in some Spanish speaking countries or even some European countries, people actually go out and enjoy an afternoon snack together, especially in places like Spain. At least when I was in Spain, because everybody took a siesta, is what they call, like a nap. They didn't necessarily go to sleep and go home and go to sleep. But in Spain, they have a time period called siesta, which translates to nap, where everybody pretty much stops working or stores will close. People will go home and they will rest at home, and then they will come back out, and some people will start back working. Some people will go out for an afternoon snack because in Spain, for example, they eat dinner really late, like 9 to 10 p.m. So a lot of people might have a snack at around 5 or 6 p.m. So this is where they could say, vamos a ir a merendar. All right, now the next word, tutear. Now tutear is a word that pretty much means treating somebody informally. Okay, so tutear, you can see the word tu in it, and it's pretty much addressing somebody in tú instead of the usted form, pretty much like a lack of respect. So you could say something like, no vayas a tutear a tu jefe. So like, don't address your boss informally because he's the one writing your check. So you might want to show him a little respect. So that's the word tutear. Now the next two words we're going to cover are pretty similar, not in the way they sound, but pretty much in their meaning. So we have the word manco. Manco pretty much means a one-armed man, and then we have tuerto, and that pretty much means a one-eyed man. So tuerto, one eye, manco, one arm. Now the next word, and this is a word that waiters probably hate, is sobremesa. So sobremesa is the word that represents pretty much when you're at a restaurant with your family and you guys are done eating, and instead of leaving, you guys are just sitting there talking. Yeah, that's pretty much sobremesa. So when the waiter's like, oh my God, these people are going to leave, and you're still there chatting, that's sobremesa. So this doesn't exist as much in the United States because we pretty much eat and we're out. But especially in places in Europe, people eat, they drink wine, they sit there and they chat for a very, 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 very long time into all hours of the night. Yeah, so that would be sobremesa. Now the next word is desvelado. Now this word means pretty much not being able to sleep or sleep deprived. So I could say something like, estuve desvelado porque el bebé no paro de llorar. I'm sleep deprived, or I didn't get much sleep because the baby wouldn't stop crying. Now the next word, friolento. Friolento is a word that represents somebody that just can't handle the cold. Can't handle the cold weather, and it's cold outside right now. So if you're a friolento, then you probably don't like this time of the year. So it's literally one word that represents somebody that hates the cold or can't stand the cold. A lot of us are probably friolento, right? Now the next word, tocayo or Tokaiya, if it's feminine, means somebody that has the same name as you. So let's say your name is John and you have a friend named John, then él es tu tocayo. So he is, I can't really explain it in English because there is no word, but he's the person with the same name as you. So of course you can say, hey, mi amigo John me va a llamar, or you can say, hey, mi tocayo me va a llamar. Now the next word is amigovio or amigovia. Now, this exists in English, but not as one single word. So in English, this is pretty much friends with benefits. So also in Spanish, you could say amigos con derechos. So that's like friends with rights, I guess you could say. But you can see the word amigovio has the word amigo and novio, or amigovia, amigo and novia. So you can see it's not just an amiga, but it's not a novia. It's amigovia. It's friend with benefits. Now the last word we're going to cover is the word estrenar. Estrenar is a word that you would use to describe your first time pretty much trying on something new. So if you go to the mall, let's say you go to the mall with your friends and you guys go to a store and you're trying on some new shoes or a new shirt or a new jacket, you would use the word estrenar to describe trying on something new and, showing it off. So use that word estrenar. Well, there you have it, 15 Spanish words that just do not exist in English. I'm sure I left some out. If you can think of any that I haven't covered, please comment them below.